time you get out of here, I would want you to realize this, that whatever the 3 billionaires are going to speak to us today about, it is not uniquely given to them in a way that you cannot get it. It is a character they've developed, and it can be taught, and it can be caught. The other thing I want you to realize is that whatever you're going to learn today, you can develop it as a character, and then you can develop it into a business, and you can develop it to become who they are, or even better. Remember, it is the responsibility of a student to learn. The best they can do is to teach, because that's what they're called to do tonight. If you walk out of here without what you came to learn, I'm sure it's not their fault.
The experience you have is up to your level of exposure. And we human beings are different. We have gone through the same challenges but different ways, and our perceptions are different. So the complexity of life is given form through stories. And that is why in this program, we normally celebrate stories. At this point in time, I would like to welcome Mr. Stephen Kalume to come and share with us what stories of significance is. Please applaud him as he comes. Oh, very well.
My name is Stephen Kalume Kahindi. I'm an accountant by profession and a farmer by passion. I was born 41 years ago. Tuesday, this week, was my birthday. Yeah. I share my birthday with notable people. I think some of you are here. One of them is President Paul Kagame of Rwanda. And in the same birthday month, I am privileged to have the same birthday today with President Uhuru Kenyatta. Happy birthday to him. So, born in 1977 to two wonderful parents in a family of 5 later. The last one was born in 1987. All of them are there except one. Our dad passed on in 2004. He was a teacher. By the time, in 1979, he moved to Nakuru municipality as an education officer. I have been told to be confined in this place, and I'm really finding it hard. I like moving around. So, in 1979, he went to Nakuru municipality. Now Nakuru County. He was there. He was an education officer. So I told you ours was not dramatic. We never lacked food. You know, most guys come here and you hear stories and you're like, wow. Huh? But one lesson I learned from that is to be grateful. Actually, grateful for my parents for one thing, that they did not make us see what adults should see. History ya kutafuta. You know, I can imagine a kid who knows lunch, anakula lunch ama anakula one meal, alafu akiona mzazi anaingia, anajua kuangalia ile sura, anajua leo hakuna sapa. Yeah? Leo there is no food today. We have to survive to tomorrow. Akiona sura yake imetabasamu, anajua today there is food. We didn't lack. One day, in 1991, we were in class 8. 1991, our father got hospitalized with complications of diabetes. Diabetes, the second, diabetes 2 mellitus. Ile insulin kidogo, your body can't manufacture much of the insulin, and then you get there. It is a factor that comes in. I wish I could get time to talk about that, but in terms of health, it is very good to know your health. And as you are here, I can even tell you there is a lady there called Noreen. He can tell you a lot about that. Noreen Kigochi. Yeah, she can tell you about your health. Basically, it is one one condition that you live with. And if I get time to talk about death, I will talk about some of these things that bring you closer to that, especially for men, because I am one of them. So born in a family in that, and then he is hospitalized in Pine Breeze Hospital, Nakuru. We lived two places. I come from Kilifi, a place called Bofa or Mtondia, and then we lived in both places, Nakuru and Bofa. I schooled in both places too. So there was a lot of food in our place. We only missed our dad because Zilija, our house, the kitchen was full. We had 2 servants' quarters. They were also full. And then even our cook now had to change the menu because here we are receiving a lot of stuff from different people, teachers, colleagues. And that is where you find the power of connection. You are as rich as your network. We are as rich. That's why I say, my fellow billionaires, I am as rich as your network. You are as poor also as your network. So there we were. He got discharged. I told you we passed on 2004, so we had a good time with him. We went to a lot of seminars with him on his condition because we, as a family, we had to learn how to live with his condition. We had to know how to take wimbi. Unakula ni kama ambayo unakula mchanga ile, but you had to take it because now you are taking it for your dad. And we were not so old, you know. So I went to school, different primary schools, but my 8, I did it in a school called Moi Primary School in Nakuru again, and went to high school, a place called Koelel High School. My brother, who is twin, I have a twin brother, went to Nakuru High School, and from there that's the time we parted. The only time that we parted is when we were in class 8 to Form 1. So there I was in Koelel High School for the first term for going for holiday. Hapo ndo unaenda holiday. We had an uncle who was left in Nakuru, so our father had come to Mombasa, to the Uhuru na Kazi pale 4th floor education offices. So we were left there with our uncle. That is the first time in my life I ever saw somebody living in one room, and that room there is a bed, there is a 3-seater sofa set, and there is a place where you can cook. So it was like that, and me and my brother were like, now hapa ndo tutaishi for the next 1 month. It was really a shock. I don't know if it was good for a parent to cushion their kids to not see the realities of this life. But I really don't know to date. You know, you can connect the dots backward, and see maybe if that was good. But it prepared us now for the early adulthood. Because when I came to Mombasa after we did our college, we did it at Mombasa Polytechnic. We had to live in a one room, away from our parents, and we had to do it there, everything. So nyumba za Kiswahili hizi ziko hivyo, they are good. And one thing that we did there, I'm still in the first, in my penultimate stages. The one thing that we did, we asked our uncle to tell our father we want to go home. We want to go home, as if that was not a home. So akawapigia simu akasema we will bring money, but in 3 days time ameleta pesa. Tukamwambia hatutaki kuenda tena, because it is an experience, believe you me, living with a lot of people. You could see even your colleagues, you now know where they were coming from. we had a good time. We didn't come to Mombasa because you see people, you hear their stories, and you know, here I belong. It's not about the biggest house you live in. It's not about umetoka wapi, but if you can connect with somebody, it does not mean hata kama yeye ni mdogo vipi, but you can connect with them. There is something in them you can connect with, and you will live with it throughout your life. So that is the lesson I got from my form 1 to form 4. Another thing that I got there, we had a few people in our school who were disadvantaged, and one of them was a very, very good friend of mine. So alikuwa anakaa Musoriot, huko Kapsabet tuko. So this guy amefukuzwa na fees, amekuja kwangu. Ananiambia sasa, now I'm going and I even don't know what will happen. My parents are not very, very well endowed. Yeah? Ni wale wanakaaga town. Kule there are rich people there, my friend. Huko hata these guys wanaenda kukimbia hawa. They win 50 million, you think they have money, but there are people who are so simple who earn more than that there, and they are farmers. We had a bazaar. Yeah, a tall guy driving a Pajero. He was a very good friend of mine. I think one of the ways that I came to become a bazaar also, maybe it was through, you know, you see somebody and you know, yeah, you know this person is good. Yeah? I talked to him. Walikuwa wanatuwekea pocket money pale. Nikamwambia wazee, ka pocket money haizi saidia huyu. Akasema let me see, and then this guy alikuwa amefukuzwa akarudishwa. Tukamwona class. One of the teachers came and say, wewe si nilikufukuza? Akamwambia no, nimwambiwa ni roho. Na nani na basa. Jamaa ameenda huko, mwalimu ameenda kuconfirm. Kapata the guy had zero balance. You know, and you're like, wow, how did he do it? You know, I came to know how he did it. But you influence, that is influence. Influence at another level, my friend. Because this is a person who was going for good. Sasa majamaa pale wakajua kumbe kuna njia ambayo inaweza fanya kufukuzwa utafukuzwa lakini utarudi. So they were coming to me. I was kind of now I became a celebrity. A few guys there who, yeah, and kuja, you know, sasa my friend vipi. I became a friend to many. You know, most students. And this guy now sat me down and told me, now I can't help everybody, but let's see, there are bursary schemes, a few of them. At that moment it was not so much pronounced, but he could do his best. One of the influences that he gave me was when we closed, I think it was in Form 3, he told me, accompany me to my place. I want to show you where I live. And basically when I went there, it was beautiful. Tumeenda tumefika mahali kuna kama beacon kama hiyo. Kasema now from here this is my farm. Aliendesha hiyo gari mpaka tukafika mahali, namuuliza kwani umesahau kuniambia mwisho? Told me no, we are still going there. It was wheat. Those people are blessed. There are people who are blessed. That is why today, if somebody tells me that he's a watchman there, yeah, if I see him, I namvulia kofia tu. Yani ujui ni yeye ni nani. You never know. People do things, marvelous things outside what they are doing from 8 to 5. And I came here at Stories of Significance one time, and I knew why. I will come to that. I knew why people do that. You know, sometimes you're told you are supposed to come out of employment and do entrepreneurship, do it, yeah? But the same person who is saying that has employees. So where do you expect these people to go? Wakuwe pia entrepreneurs, who will you work with? You know? So these guys are supposed to be entrepreneurs, but then they're also supposed to be doing something else. I learned one lesson there, that this guy was blessed, and he could help. He could help these students with his own money, and his influence, his network also helped him get some money from outside and help these students. He knew a few things about the school. He knew the budget of the school. And this budget had some budget lines, like kuna maize mahali, kuna beans mahali, kuna vitu fulani. So akikujua anajua babako yeye anafanya beans, anamwambia come pay beans. You know, they have a way with the principal, and beans inaletwa converted to fees, and this guy continues to school. I left there. I came to Mombasa Polytechnic, then now is TUM. Had a good time. I did accounting. My father wanted me to be a teacher, but I didn't want, because apparently, because we are twins, my brother was waiting to go to university. Na mimi sasa I got a C+ which could not take me there. So akasema utaanza kutangulia kwenda kufanya walimu. And I was like, sasa niache huyu jamaa akikula hype huku, mimi naenda no way. That is the only reason why. And this guy told me, you will be a teacher, my friend, one day. Hata nikikufa bado utakuwa mwalimu. I found myself working in a school. I started as a storekeeper for 5 years. I had done my CPA, and then a neighbor called Yusuf, and they were neighbors. The board, one of the board members was a neighbor, so I was doing interview every day. You can imagine, I usually tell any young person, every day is interview day. Whatever you do, we are interviewing you. Hapa vile umekuja, kuna mtu anaangalia. Ukija you appear in a panel that Mwihaki is there. Na amekuona hapa uko sijui vipi. Definitely that is one way you have failed. So I was not interviewed further from that, because nilipelekwa kwa huyo principal, nikaambiwa kuwa huyu ni jirani, we have lived with him, he's a good. That board member was called, do you confirm? And then he said, yeah, this guy, trust him, he's good, and that is how I landed at Hamisi High School. For 5 years, after 1 year I lived there. I've lived there from June 2000 till this moment. Nikitoka hapa, huko ndio kazi, huko ndio nyumbani hapa Mombasa. My family lives in Kilifi. I have a wife and 2 children. For the past 15 years. I have a teenager at the moment. Yet to learn about how to manage teenagers. But there's something I noticed. You know, we had a very, very strict mother. Hata ni wale ambao sijui ache kana mjukuu, sijui mjukuu akiwa na nyanyake anaharibika. No. Huyo yuko strict paka kwa wajukuu wake. So usually one thing I usually do with my mom, there's something I can't touch her remote in her house when she's there. And 2, because of the respect, it is there in this 41-year-old body, it's there. And whenever he is there, mpaka nisimame. And I usually do that. Kama sikujui nitakusimamia, na kama nakujua pia nitakusimamia. And I will do that always. Ukija kwa ofisi yangu, that is the code. I came to the house a few weeks ago, and this guy stood up and greeted me, and I was like, wow. I didn't teach this guy to stand. So he's observing me, you know. So those young parents, you are here, they will see what you're doing. Yeah, they see what you're doing, and if you're doing it in a way that is wrong and you're telling them this, do it this way and you're doing it this way, they are going to do it that way. I observed that and I was wowed. I saw it and I was, wow, yeah, this is how a well-behaved kid should be. Nimelipa 1350 na nimekuja nimepata watu 30. I divide that by 30. There are 30 different stories here to hear. So that is the pay I'm paying, yeah? The price I'm paying for that day. I might get 5, I might get 10. Sasa nikitoka hapo ndio nitakuwa hasa najua ile 1350 divided by 10 is 135. Here I had 10 stories today. I paid 135 per person and I'm good. And when I go out there, it has taught me how to listen to people without paying, you know? You go there and you listen and get the stories and the ideas and all that. And when I come here, you get rejuvenated, yeah? You walk with the rhythm, yeah? And I have been a happy person. For the past 1 year, I have been a very happy person because I have created a new network. I have developed my passion. I have seen people who struggle and they get there. My first speaker was Mwihaki Kahiga. She's seated there. Yeah, I sample hotels a lot, by the way. If you're in my Facebook, you will see that. And one of the hotels I go to is hers, Mandarini. Very beautiful place. I go with my family, with many other people. By the way, if you are my friend, you will go to the places I go. And uzuri, they're not bad places. Yeah, like I bring friends here. If you're my friend, I will support you. That is where things happen. You know, the problem is those people who brings you kadi ya mchango, they're the family and friends. But those people who bring business, ni watu ujui, kama nyinyi hapa, I have got business here, a lot of it. I do farming, I do chicken. I do paka zile chicken unapiga selfie nazo, zile zinauzonga 6,000, 7,000, one chicken. Yeah, very good ornamental. You get business from people you don't know. This is your family actually. Yeah, wale watakuletea zile vitu zinakuja hapo, zinakuambia WhatsApp group niko kwa 40 my friend. 40 WhatsApp group na karibu zote ni mchango. I'm an accountant. Entrepreneurship is you guys are into that. Most of you are into startups. Money goes off sometimes, mostly inapotea kabisa kwa mfuko. And basically what happens is that it's like yule mtoto umleavo ndivyo akwavyo. The habits that you have are what you are going to transfer to your organization. An organization is as good as its leader. That is always true. So wewe kama habits zako ni za kuharibu pesa personally, pale pia kwa hiyo enterprise yako utaiharibu. I have been privileged to work with great speakers here, and for those who have come more than once, you have seen that. I have learned, for example, that from my friend Silvester Kututa, that you have to work it right on your the legal things that you do. KRA, nini, work it out. Do it well there. Kwa sababu shida inaweza tokea hapo mbele kwa sababu hukuweka vizuri, misingi yako vizuri. Another thing I learned from the next speaker is resilience. Unapambana na hali yako. Yeah? And you literally do it. The power of networking. And this guy brought somebody else. You know, Bramwell Musia, told us there is God, his story, God, relationships, and courage. You know, mpate there, the lady who was lately in South Africa. Wow, congratulations. London and South Africa. That was good. I'm inspired. I was inspired by your story. Social entrepreneurship. It doesn't have to have a profit ya hapo kwa hapo. Things happen. And for the past few months after her talk, I'm seeing things happening. She held a gala, the governor was there, and I was like, wow, this is happening. I would like to hear your story again and everybody's story here again.
So it is up to that moment, I invite another Costarian by the name Kokie Rading. And by the way, don't say Coast people are sluggish, is it? They don't keep time. They keep time and they make their businesses, they run their businesses. So we are not Kenyan time people. Are we together? Yes, we are not, because the people who are here, they have defied those stereotypes. So welcome, Kokie Rading. Thank you very much.
My name is Kokie Rading, the founder and the CEO of Waridi Fashions. I'm a wife, married to a handsome one husband, Luo. I'm a Costarian, I'm a Kilifian. I'm a mother of 2 girls, Hope and Faith. Above all, I'm a Binti. And again, I'm a politician. I'm a nominated MCA in Kilifi County. I want to start by thanking Vincent for inviting me again to celebrate with you as you reach 1 year. I was born 39 years ago in Mariakani. So mi ni Mkamba wa Kilifi County. That is my home. I don't have any other home. Hiyo ndio bara yetu, where my mother and my father come from. I went to a local primary school in Mariakani. I went to a local secondary school in Mariakani. And I went to a college in Nairobi and Mombasa. After my college, I got my first job, Kibarua, at Kenya Ferry. Standing here, I have no fear of telling you I was selling sodas like those girls and the boys you see at the ferry hawking sodas, Coca-Cola. That is where I started. Not because my mother or my father could not provide food, but I wanted to be independent. I wanted to stand on my own. My parents were like, why do you want to go and sell sodas? Like, you don't have a family. I'm from a very, very humble background, but I wanted to be a person. I am a go-getter. I am not scared. I'm not that lady who cannot do anything because a man will see me and they will not want to be associated with me just because I'm selling sodas at Coca-Cola. At that young age, nobody would have gone to Kenya Ferry, beautiful as I am, because I know I am, and selling sodas. And you know what? I said that is where I will start my journey. And that is how my journey started. From Coca-Cola, I got a job again with the KEMRI, Kenya Medical Research Institute. Very young, getting a good salary in Kilifi. Our money was at the end of the month, we hire a matatu, all of us, then we go to Malindi and have fun. Because you see, I'm young and there is money and no responsibilities. So I worked at KEMRI, then we got another project by KEMRI again, we came to Coast General. So when I was at Coast General is when I came to understand that I was not born to be employed. I was born to be a business person. Because even getting that salary, I was not getting any satisfaction. It was like waiting at the end of the month, getting that money. It is good money as a single lady, but I'm not getting that satisfaction. So that's when I started doing my business. I would go to Dar es Salaam every first Friday of the month. Every first Friday of the month religiously for 5 years. My boss was not working on Friday. So how was I going to Dar es Salaam? I will do a straight shift on a Thursday. I will tell my friend, don't come to work on Thursday. I will do a straight shift so that you also cover for me on Friday. So I will travel on Friday, reach Dar es Salaam in the evening, shop on Saturday, take the bus on Sunday, and be at work on Monday. So my boss never knew that I was not working on Friday for the 5 years I was there. Yes. And when I was doing that, I was so happy when I'm selling that handbag and getting a profit of 500 instead of waiting for that salary at the end of the month of 60,000. I was so happy when I was getting a profit of 200 when I'm selling an earring than waiting for that salary at the end of the month. So when the project came to an end, we were taken back to Kilifi. We were to go back to Kilifi. And I said, I cannot go back to Kilifi because I'd already started my business. And I'm sure if I go back to Kilifi, because the counties were not there. So we didn't have the county. So money was not rotating so very fast in Kilifi. So I was saying, I'm not going back to Kilifi. So I resigned and I got another job. And I said, the other job that I'm getting, I have to work in a bank. Because working in a bank, I will go to work at 8 and the bank will close at 3. So from 4 to 6, I'll be doing my business. I didn't know that working in a bank, when the doors closes at 3, I will go down and count money until 8 p.m. So that happened at NIC Bank. And I was in the sales department, but we could go down to the strong room and count the monies. And I worked there. I was the best salesperson for the 3 months I worked at NIC Bank. And it was in the middle of the month, on a 15th, it was on a Wednesday. I took my badge, the official phone, and I went to my supervisor and told him, you know what? I am not going to work anymore. I am not happy. Because at NIC, I could not go to Tanzania for those 3 months because they did not want me to leave work on Friday. And I was going to Dar es Salaam every first Friday of the month. So I resigned. My mother didn't know I've resigned. She would call me, umeenda kazini? Mami niko kazini. Si hata ufungwe tu ka account kamoja. And I'm not working. So that's when I started my business. Now officially I'm out of employment. Sasa nafanya biashara. That's when I started my business. Now properly going to Tanzania, buying things and bringing them back. And come 2008, I got a small stall in Moi Avenue. And that's when I started my first international trip, 2008. And my first capital for my business, a young man risked and gave me that capital. Today is my husband. You see, he trusted and believed in this girlfriend, because when he was throwing those lines, I told him one thing: you are dealing with a business person here. Trust me, you will not pin me down. It's either you are with me or you are not with me, because you will not tell me to stop my business and be with you, because I will not accept that. It's either we are together or we are not together. So this man wanted to be together. Back akanipa capital. So that's when I started. I did my first international trip. Then when I came back, the second trip, I met a girl and she told me, Kokie, nimesikia unaenda China. Me, I want a wedding gown. Would you bring me a wedding gown when you go to China? And I told her, but that's not what I am doing, because I am doing official shoes, mango za mama, mango za wanaume, handbags. I'm not into wedding gowns. And she told me, but wedding gowns come from China. So when you go, bring me a wedding gown. So I went to China and brought her her wedding gown. So yeye badala avae aseme nililetewa niliimport ama nilifanya chochote, she was referring people to where she bought that wedding gown, now to me. So that is how we moved from normal outfits and handbags and shoes to what we are doing right now. And that's where Waridi Fashions was born. And we moved from the ordinary things now to purely doing events, weddings and corporate events and just events. That's where we are. So when we were there at that small shop, a lady told me, Kokie, kumepatikana nafasi kubwa mahali hapa, si ukuje uchukue. And I'm like, you want me to move from a stall of 8,000 and you are taking me to a shop that I'll pay 20,000? How will I manage that? But you know what? If you have passion in what you're doing, if you are confident in what you're doing, nothing will stop you in whichever way. I told her, you know what, I am taking that space. I took that space, started paying 20,000. When I had done my trip, I was in China. My sister calls me. You know what? Lotto are closing down in Mombasa. They are telling us to take the full space. Full space? Full space. Rent ni pesa ngapi? 111. Only. We are taking the full space. Na niko China. Na sijui hata yo rent tutatoa wapi. So we took the space, and that is where we are right now. Waridi Fashions does everything in event. We started in wedding gowns. Brides will come now, we have wedding gowns. Maids tutatoa wapi? Tuko nao, tunafanya. Unataka gani ya kushona, ya kuimport? Ya kushona nikaeka mafundi. Sasa tumepata maids nguo zao, na wanaume tutatoa wapi? Unataka gani ya kushona, ya kuimport? Tuko nayo. Sasa unataka nini? Ni chakula nini? Tuko na. So we are doing everything. Don't leave an opportunity pass you. When you come to Waridi right now, even the service that we don't offer, we will tell you we are offering. You don't want to know whether we will subcontract or what. You want food. You want sound. Don't ask me where I will get sound. What you need is me to deliver what you want. When you are in business, for those who are in business, and for those who intend to start, nobody will tell you that business is not easy. Nobody will tell you that. They will lie to you. Yeah, there's money in business, but whatever they go through, they don't tell you. My friend, business is not easy. I have lost friendship. I have lost properties. I have lost so many things to build that brand, Waridi Fashions. So let nobody lie to you. And also, let no social media lie to you. Don't see on my page, Waridi is in China, Waridi is in Italy, so she's having a ball. My friend, I have sleepless nights. Maybe those are just photos. You see, even we lie on social media. So don't let that pressure put you to doing things that you don't want to do. I have had a lot of questions, inboxes, people asking me, Waridi, I need to do business. I have money. What business should I do? That is a question I cannot answer. I cannot answer that because I don't know who you are. I don't know your passion. I don't know where you are. I don't know where you want to open that business. So what I normally respond to such a question is, so search yourself, know what you want to do. Then start the smallest way possible. My first capital in my business, when I started it myself, it was 30,000. And that 30,000 took me to Busia border and shopped for my first vitenges to come and sell. So when you ask somebody who is already in business, what business can I start with the 100,000 that I have? It's a question that, for sure, if that other person is clear enough, will tell you, I don't know. This journey has not been easy, but it is the best journey ever. I am happy where I am. Magdalene asked, if you are not doing what you are doing now, what would you have been doing? I would be a policewoman because that is what my dad wanted. And I think I would have made the worst decision ever because Kokie was born to be a business lady. I have seen all of you here and I've seen business. Mimi nimeona tu pesa hapa. As I've seen business, I take each opportunity that comes my way. I am not shy of selling what I do. Even in Amatatu, my sister sometimes call me crazy. Huyu mwanamke ni crazy. Yaani hata huwezi kunyamaza, ni mpaka uzungumze tu chenye unafanya. But that is what I do. And it makes me happy. Even if you're not going to share to buy what I'm selling, but that's what makes me happy. There was a day I was in a matatu, Manyanga, those big Manyangas in Nairobi, and making a lot of music is loud. And my sister told me, tukipanda ile haipigi kelele, huwa imebeba wazee wanajulikana wako na pesa, sasa tutaibiwa. Sasa tupande iko na mziki nyingi, inabeba ma youngster wenye hawana pesa. Hiyo ni route ya Buruburu. So that's what we did. And when I was in that, I sat in front. And when I was in that car, there was a lady who sat next to me. And the music is loud, but I'm still selling to this lady. And do you know what? By the time we reached town, that lady had called a friend who wanted a gown. And by the time it was 2 p.m., I'd sold a gown of 40,000. So if I had not shared what I do, and I even gave them driver my business card, na alikuwa ni ule mrastani, unajua huyu hata time ya harusi ama anything, but I said he will share my card with somebody else. So for those who inspire to do, and my principal clerk is here. This guy, we ate lunch together yesterday, and he did not eat food, and I asked him, mbona hauli chakula? Principal akasema, no, I'm okay. Now I know. It is good to share. You see, I ate food and na ananinyamazia, nasikia naitisha nyama nyingine niongezwe, na amenyamaza tu, yeye anakula tu fruits zake, and he's not telling me anything. Principal sio poa bali. Unajua hizi suit ni mpaka tukae vizuri, unajua huko tunavanga masuit, but now I know. And it's, you see the connection now, I get it.
That's where we learn. We don't learn from the money that they make. We learn from the actions that they take so that they can earn or do whatever that they do. So ladies and gentlemen, humbly welcome my humble personal friend, mentor, and the speaker of today.
I have two of my colleagues here. I need to recognize them. Please stand up, because I'll be in trouble tomorrow in the office if I don't do that. These are the people who make us in the office make some of us look good, okay? And people think that I'm doing very well, I'm performing, but these are the people who work and do everything, and we give them the opportunity. Thank you, sit down. By the last count, we are heading to 120 in the company all over East Africa. From a small company that we started, I am employee number 001 in 2001. Okay, so those ones have got a meaning in our lives and in the company. What else do I say? We operate a company called Express Shipping. How many have seen a logo called ESL? Oh, is it? Wow. All right. Thank you very much. That's our organization. And by now you must have noticed that I am not a public speaker. Okay? But I will articulate what I have to say. Yes, ESL was formed in 2001, and for a reason. Because of time, I won't go too much backwards. But 2001, that's when ESL started. And the reason it started is you listen to your heart. I've had already, so Kokie reminds me something when she was talking about her story. I met a husband in a far off place. The first time I met a husband in Turkey, in Istanbul. I went into a meeting and I see a gentleman there. I say, okay, the only black person around here. Because sometimes we travel to places like in China, and there is no black person. And I can go for a week and I don't see a black person. One time last year, I was traveling from one part of China to another in a train. And there's this family that came in with small children. the only seats which were next to me, empty, were the ones next to me. And this boy of this age came, and when they were about to sit, she realized, he looked at it and said, "What is this next to us?" And took off and went, because it's like we've never seen black people. So a wonderful man, the husband. So from that time we became friends, and we realized we're in the same building. So we catch up quite a lot. So ESL was started. I'm finishing my master's degree in Sweden, which I had gone to do. That time, my wife and I had a young child, and we didn't have money. Okay, a lot of the people who were studying together with us from Kenya, they had jobs from Kenya Ports Authority, etc., and they were earning their salaries. But there's this thing about listening to what you have, what is in you, what you called to do. I had a job offer in the United Arab Emirates, and I had a job offer in the UK to do chartering for a oil tanker company. But something in me kept telling me, no. You are going to countries where people are developed already. They've already developed their countries. What difference are you going to make there? Roads are already done, bridges are already done, jobs, people have jobs there. What about home? And I tell you the truth, during that time, everybody we called back home told us, don't come back here. The economy is not performing. We were growing at almost negative. You remember the last days of Moi? And the World Bank had pulled out? Every friend we called said, please make sure you don't come here, you're gonna suffer. But inside me, I felt, look, I want to go and create employment. I want to go and make a difference in the countries that employment is more needed. You can never go wrong when you have that in yourself, and you can feel that this is from God himself. So sharing and talking with my wife, and we had, of course, the small baby. There is a wonder, okay, you're foolish. You're leaving good jobs here to go home where you don't have a job. So thank God we got somebody who wanted and agreed to sponsor us. Capital. When you have a good idea, I said it last time, capital is never the problem. You said you gave somebody money to start off and go and do something great. There are people who are willing to sponsor and take good ideas and you run with it and make good money. And especially if it's something that is you're passionate about, and it can be seen as you present it. So that was presented, and we got the money, we started the company. 7 years down the line, we were making losses. It was time to quit. Hey, Brown Ondego called me. He said, Silvester, I know you came before you went to Sweden. You came from Kenya National Shipping Line. We know they are struggling. We want you, because he was MD of KPA, and KPA owns part of Kenya National Shipping Line. So he said, you go back to Kenya National Shipping Line as the MD, and I knew the package. It was wonderful package. And he said, you go back. You tell me by tomorrow, and I'll give you your appointment letter. By that time, I had not seen a salary for 2 months because the company was not performing. We were trying everything that we could, but the economy again had not picked up, and again we are trying to get a new company running. The next morning, overnight I struggled with that, and then the next morning I went to him and I said, no, I will not take the job. I want to still build this company. But on the 7th, 8th year, we've been profitable, and since then it's been like this throughout. And we grew from one office in Mombasa. We opened up in Nairobi. We opened up in Dar es Salaam. We opened in Tanga and Mtwara, closer to Mozambique. In the border between Kenya and Uganda. We have an office there, and we have an office in Kampala last year, which is performing very well. That's all about business, and I know you may have some questions later, but before I finish, one of the things that we said, and the reason why coming back I didn't want to get employed, I could have probably even looked around and checked and gotten a job from any of the other companies, is because I knew no company would be able to had the level of quality that I wanted to provide and be part of. So that's the reason also why we started the company, because we will provide something unique, something different, something of higher value to our customers, something of the highest service that can ever be provided in logistics and shipping. Today, I don't know whether I should say, because some of those accolades probably they are mainly shipping ones. We are the only BIMCO company. BIMCO is a group of ship owners in the world. We are the only accredited company in East and Central Africa. Last year nominations, you remember? We were voted the company with the most excellence, decade of excellence by the National Chamber of Commerce in Coast Province. As we speak now, we have 3 or 4 entries in the East African Maritime Award. We've been nominated in 3 categories, which is going on in Serena. I am our company, ESL, is made the shortlist for the best shipping agency company. And I want to mention that one of the managers, which is something that I love most. You talked about developing people. There is nothing so satisfying like that, because our human resource, one of our human resource managers, Steve Kokie, is also been nominated. And the reason being that we have a very unique leadership development program. Okay, this lady and this gentleman have been part of that. We take young people from universities, from colleges, every 6 months. We take about 10 of them. It's very competitive. The last one, we got about 600 applications. People want it so badly because it's high value, high quality. We take them, accountants, lawyers, shipping people, clearing and forwarding, etc. We take them through the entire company. We give them mentors within the company. Tomorrow, they are presenting in the boardroom. They call all of us. We come. They tell us, like for example, if somebody is in law, they choose a topic. The topic tomorrow is about the Bill of Rights. You research and you tell us how applicable is it to everybody in life. The next one is going to come and tell us about ICT equipment and how to save and enhance them and use them well. So all around, we take them around the company and we make sure that they are the best that anybody can ever employ and learn as interns. 6 months, we have a success rate of about 98%. Every time, by the time they get out, they just bring snap. Okay? So that's one of the things that have been recognized by the Kenya Maritime Authority, Kenya Ports Authority, and the rest. And that's partly why Steve Kokie has been nominated, because he runs with that for the award. But all these things, I don't know how much they mean, the awards, but seeing people get out there, get trained, get out there, do a wonderful job, see them excelling, that is what is very satisfying. And therefore, that's the reason why I said, instead of going to receive the award or anything like that in Serena, I'll better spend some time with all of you wonderful people. And I think because I believe in the vision of Vincent and you guys, what you're doing. I was here for one session, and interacting with everybody, I realized that they are very, very sharp people who come to these stories of significance. And everybody has a story. I say that. Last week, I went to the launch of one of my customers' autobiography. Has anybody seen the book Guru? Yeah, good. I went for his is a launch of that book. He's a very good friend of mine. Coming from almost nothing, those stories of coming from nothing, to what he is today, one of the biggest, one of the richest people. Success is never just about money. It's about how many people do you touch. And he's touched a lot of people. I am not endeared or looking up to him because of the money that he has. It is what money is he, what has he done with that money? What has he done with his life? And it was a good thing to attend that, because the autobiography actually tells you what has somebody done, okay? What is their journey? What is their story of significance? And everybody has theirs. You see, Obama has his, Guru has his. All of us have a story of significance. Please, let's pick those ones, those stories. It's not because you're bragging, it's because somebody else will be lifted up by that. There is somebody who believes that I have lost hope. I can't do anything. Everything I do falls, As a friend of mine once told me that when he was growing up, his brother used to tell him, hey, everything you touch withers. And that oppressed him and made him feel so unaccomplished and unable to accomplish anything. But later on, he found people like this in such kind of an environment where you're told and also mentored the people here, network, people who are able to stand with you, hold your hand, and like that, You see, somebody said here, you want to connect and with Kokie and be able to learn from each other. And make no mistake, even the ones who look like they are mentors, we are learning from all of us. Iron sharpens iron. It is never one way, never. It is two way.